There was a time in Israel when every man did what was right in his own eyes, a time when the voice of God was faint, and his people wandered far from his ways. Because of their sin, he gave them into the hands of the Philistines. 40 years of silence, 40 years of suffering. But even in silence, God was preparing a flame. In the quiet hills of Zorah, a woman wept in secret, barren, empty, unknown. Yet heaven saw her. And one day, a radiant figure stood before her, a man not of earth, glowing with the glory of the Lord. "You shall conceive," he said. "Your child will be a Nazarite, set apart from birth. Let no wine touch your lips. Let no razor touch his head. For he shall begin to deliver Israel from the Philistines." The woman believed. Her husband Manoah trembled when the angel returned. They offered a goat upon a rock, and as the flame rose, the messenger of God ascended in its fire. "We have seen God!" Manoah cried, but mercy covered them, and in time the child was born. They named him Samson, sunlight, spirit-stirred, strong even in youth. Years passed. The boy became a man, and one day Samson saw a woman of the Philistines in Timnah. "Get her for me," he told his father. "She pleases me." Though they warned him, though she was of the enemy, Samson's heart was set. But the Lord was working even through his desire, for he sought occasion to strike the Philistines. On the way, a lion attacked him, and the Spirit of God came mightily upon him. With no weapon, he tore the beast apart, but he told no one. Later, returning, he found a swarm of bees in the carcass, and honey. He ate and shared, but spoke no word of where it came from. At the wedding feast, Samson gave a riddle. Out of the eater came something to eat. Out of the strong came something sweet. The Philistines could not solve it. For days they tried. Then they turned on his bride. "Entice your husband," they hissed, "or we will burn you in your father's house." She wept until he gave in. They answered the riddle, and Samson burned with fury. "If you had not plowed with my heifer," he said, "you would not have solved my riddle." He went to Ashkelon, struck down 30 men, took their garments, and stormed away. When he returned to claim his bride, he found she had been given to another. "I shall be more blameless this time," Samson said. So he caught 300 foxes, tied them in pairs, set torches between their tails, and loosed them into the Philistines' grain fields. The fire consumed their crops, vineyards, and olive groves. The Philistines burned his bride and her father in revenge, and Samson struck them down, limb for limb. He seized the jawbone of a donkey and struck down 1,000 men. "With the jawbone of a donkey," he cried, "I have made heaps upon heaps." He threw the bone away, and in thirst he cried to the Lord, "You gave me this victory. Will I now die of thirst?" So God split the hollow rock, and water flowed out. He drank, and his strength returned. And Samson judged Israel 20 years. But Samson's strength was not only in his arms, it was also his weakness. He went to Gaza. There he entered the house of a harlot, but enemies lay in wait. At midnight Samson arose and tore the gates of the city from their hinges. He carried them on his shoulders up to the hill before Hebron. And then came Delilah, a woman of beauty, a woman of betrayal. The Philistine lords came to her with silver. "Find the source of his strength." Day after day she pressed him. "Tell me, where does your strength lie?" He toyed with her. New ropes, braided hair, woven locks, but none were true. She cried, pouted, wore him down, and finally he told her all his heart. "No razor has ever touched my head. I am a Nazarite to God from birth. If my hair is cut, my strength will leave me." She lulled him to sleep. A man came with a razor, and as the locks fell, so did the power. "The Philistines are upon you," she shouted. But he did not know the Lord had departed. They seized him, gouged out his eyes, bound him with bronze, and set him grinding grain in prison. Time passed. His hair began to grow. So did his resolve. One day, the Philistine lords gathered in the temple of Dagon to celebrate their god. "Bring out Samson!" they cried. "Let him entertain us!" The blind judge was led by a boy. He asked the child to place his hands on the pillars, and then he prayed, "O Lord God, remember me. Strengthen me just once more." And with all his might, he pushed. The pillars broke, the roof collapsed. Lords, soldiers, people, thousands perished, and Samson died with them. He was buried in the tomb of his father Manoah. This is the story of a man set apart, yet drawn to the edge. A man of fire, both righteous and flawed. A man through whom God moved mightily, though his choices brought pain. Samson, the strong, the broken, the vessel, the judge who fell, but did not fall in vain. And so God remembered Israel, even through a flawed man, even through fire.
Hey, mighty one. If this story stirred your spirit, don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe below. And in the comments, tell me which Bible story you'd love me to bring to life next. God bless you.